Dr. Anjali Raut. I've done my graduation from Manipal College of Dental Sciences, Manipal University. I'm a dentist, and then I decided to go for PGDM in hospital management from IHMR Bangalore. As a matter of fact, I am due for my convocation next week. I'm going to be your host for this evening. I welcome you all. So a little about us. IHMR Bangalore is a premier institute for hospital management, health information technology management, as well as we are going to start with pharmaceutical management this year itself. In addition, we also deal with research and consultation activities, MDP trainings in South India. We offer a 2-year full-time AICTE approved program designed by industry experts to prepare students in the best possible way. Since its inception in 2004, IIHMR Bangalore has voyaged a series of research projects, studies, and developments in the field of health and hospital management, monitoring and evaluation, policy development, implementation research, demographic and health surveys, and quality accreditation of hospitals. IHMR Bangalore regularly organizes training and management development programs, that is MDPs, to improve management practices in health and related systems for competency development among health and hospital managers, planners, decision makers, trainers, and research scientists at the national and international levels. So, finally, I welcome you all to Masterstrokes. The idea behind this is to basically provide a platform for students and prospective students to understand about the healthcare industry, their career options, the career growth, or the challenges that come with it, and the solutions to it through our alumni who we are very proud of. So first of all, let's welcome our alumni. First, we have with us Mr. Venkat. Mr. Venkat hails from Andhra Pradesh and he holds a degree in BSc Nursing, post which he did his PGDM in hospital management from IIHMR Bangalore in the year 2013. He started his career as clinical system analyst at Cognizant Technology in Chennai and moved up in career as EMR implementation and support consultant at Deloitte Bangalore. With 7+ years of experience in healthcare industry, he's currently working in Philips as EMR implementation consultant in Dubai. We welcome you, sir.
Hi, Anjali, thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Balaji. He also hails from Andhra Pradesh and holds a degree in BSc Nursing from the same college. He completed his PGDM in hospital management from IHMR Bangalore in the year 2017. He started his career as operations executive at Teleradiology Solutions. With 3+ years of experience in healthcare industry, he's currently working as assistant administrator at LV Prasad Eye Institute, Hyderabad. Welcome, sir.
Hi.
Yeah. So as we have seen from both of your profiles that you belong to the BSc Nursing background. Can you tell us what was a challenge or what helped you with this background to switch to healthcare management?
Yeah, certainly. Just giving a brief that I did my bachelor's in nursing, and then I started working as a critical care unit nurse in cardiac specialty hospital. And then after pursuing my 2 years of nursing profession, and then I thought of personally, I did have that, that urge of, doing something big rather than, moving as a nurse. There's no doubt that, nursing is a noble profession, but, there was some inner calling that happened that, to pursue something beyond the bachelor's degree. And that motivated me to, to land up in IHMR Bangalore in 2011. And that really helped me to complete the course. And apart from that, the real motivation lies in terms of, choosing the wide array of opportunities what you'll end up getting after completing the postgraduate degree from IHMR. So you name it, from the hospital management to the public health management, and as well as the healthcare IT and the pharmaceutical management. Now, we do have a wide variety of opportunities where we can advance our career. So that inner calling, and as well as from the opportunity perspective, that in the early 2000s, there's a tremendous traction happened towards the healthcare management side. That really motivated me to personally drive towards IHMR Bangalore. And end of the day, that was a great decision for me. And indeed, that really helped me to pave a platform now to some of my my juniors, as well as to move on and pursue this career.
Moving on to Balasa, what do you think motivated you to choose this as a field, as a career option?
What I'm doing after doing this BSc nursing engineering, during the course time from very first year onwards, I know Venkat sir. So when I was in third year, like I got to know that he's getting into this IHMR Bangalore College. So through him, I got to know like what is this course and how it is and all. So then soon after my UG, like I never worked there anywhere in any hospital. Like soon after that, I have joined in IHMR Bangalore. Like later on, like I have joined, and then two of my classmates also joined along with me. And like IHMR Bangalore, where it's a very good opportunity for the not only nursing background, also other medical background specialties like the dentist, any physiotherapy and all. Yeah.
Yeah. So, sir, do you think, would you say that having a clinical background was served as a catalyst, or did it limit you in any way in stepping into this management career as a whole?
Yeah. So indeed, it always served, and it is serving, as a catalyst. I would say that there is no reason for me to say that any limitation happened, because our limitation that I see before pursuing, a PhD at my graduation, it helped me in different ways. To name it, like since from coming from the medical background, I was well versed with the patient experience and all, how to take care of the patient. From the medical knowledge perspective, I was very much good, like how to treat a patient, how to take care of the patient from the admission to the discharge. But what really lacks here is, how to manage the typical hospital, right from the operation side to the clinical quality perspective, and as well as from the, from the entire business side, from the angle of the business, that how we need to see hospital. And that really helped me, after graduating from my college and from the nursing degree and joining to IHMR, I can see that, I brought up these two entities together, right, from the medical knowledge and the hospital management, typical hospital management, how to take care of a hospital, how the entire healthcare ecosystem works. So when I combine these two blocks together, that really brought me a complete essence of the healthcare, how exactly a healthcare operates, from the medical point of view, from the management point of view, and that really makes you a complete holistic healthcare professional.
Right. Anything to say, Balasa?
Same thing. Like adding to that, during UG, like we are already into the hospital. Like we know what's going in hospital, like OP wise, inpatient, and lab wise, and everything. We know that all operational work and all. But when it comes to the management side and all, so if we want to know about anything, how to run an hospital and managing all these things, so you need a career growth of this thing. So when you see for this kind of thing, this course is very useful for stepping into the IHMR regarding this.
Correct. Okay. So, okay, this is one bouncer I'll throw at you. Was IHMR your first option? If yes, why?
Indeed, IHMR is my first option. I really need to share a story here.
Sure.
When I got into my math examination, I got a good percentile, somewhere around 99.8 percentile. I would have got through IHMR Jaipur, but I first came to IHMR Bangalore for my interview and the GD and a group discussion and the panel interview. So that's when I got an opportunity to talk to the then director, Srinivas Rao, and as well as Usha ma'am now. So the only advice I received from them, which really make sense to me, was rather than I would really like to just to give a kind of an analogy here, like if you be in IHMR Jaipur, no offense to Jaipur, but just you'll be a small fish in a big pond, right? If you be in Bangalore, you'll be like you're a big fish in a small pond. End of the day, what matters is how efficiently you're selling yourself, and how efficiently you are grooming yourself all together these 2 years and coming out as a professional. So I focused on that, and that was my only option of Bangalore. Right from the day one, it's Bangalore.
Nice. Bala sir?
For me, actually, I have never thought of a second option or any opinion apart from IHMR Bangalore, because by Venkat sir only I got to know this college and all. So there is I didn't search anything regarding this. So well known about this course and all. Like I got to know that there is an IHMR in Jaipur and Delhi and all. Like for Andhra, it's nearby Bangalore, and it's Silicon City, and Bangalore is a good option for me. So then I have moved to Bangalore and joined in this.
Nice. Actually, I would like to agree with both of you. That was the case with me also. Like when I came to Bangalore, I just saw how much you can be focused on, and how much attention you can get from the faculty and staff. So that was a very big plus point for me as well. So yeah. Okay. So now that we have come to college, how would you describe your journey of IHMR?
It's really funny. I enjoyed entire 2 years, of course. With my complete heart, I'm telling that there's no regrets anywhere. I would say that I cannot compare my graduation with post-graduation. Post-graduation was really fun. Apart from learning the modules what have been taught, but what real learning happened was within the peers, with my peer. That pool actually helped me to understand, to see where I am lacking in terms of my communication skills, or whether in terms of my trying to set myself right in some areas. That tremendously helped me in this. And these 2 years, I would say it's a complete fun. It's a lot of fun, and lots of learning, especially your presentation skills. How typically you need to churn yourself and come out of as a kind of individual who companies or any firms ready to take you, where they can see their vision in you. So that really helped. And I inculcated those kind of qualities with IHMR 2 years. Trust me.
Moving on to you, sir.
Journey from IHMR Bangalore, it's memorable. For me, kind of person, I was an introvert actually. When I came to the Bangalore IHMR, so different different language people across from India. We have friends and all. So moreover, from introvert to become an extrovert, and these modules. And initially, I think you also remember there is with Madhya sir, there is one session
Yes.
where you'll get to know each other and talk with everyone. Like you will step out from you think from out of box,
Yeah.
and all these things, and all this role play and everything, and staff especially. I don't know how whether I need to say this thing or not. I have a best friends and professors. Like Sarla ma'am earlier during that time, Angan sir and all. All they push me when I was down and all, like my friends and all, like communication wise, always anything, even regarding during the STP summer training and everything. They helped us a lot, and it was a very good fun. Like same like 2 years, I've enjoyed a lot actually in IHMR.
I have met you once in campus, sir, and as you said that you were kind of an introvert. Well, not anymore. I don't think so. I met you just once in campus. And
Yeah.
as you said, for the professors, yeah, I'm almost going to be an alumnus now, and I can say the same thing. Yes, the professors are very friendly, they are very nice, they give you all the attention and all the focus that you want or you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was it in terms of your summer training programs and dissertation?
That's one very important thing that I really need to stress upon here, especially choosing the summer internships. Before that, I would like to take a couple of more minutes here to answer this question. Now, let me bring up on my analysis and my experience being a healthcare management student. So there will be three kinds of students who actually wants to pursue this course. The number one would be the entrepreneurs who wants to start their own businesses, like they really need to come out and do something for their own, and trying to create some impact. And number two would be the visionaries who wants to they're clear from the day one in their college. They want to go to public health side, they always want to strive in that direction, they'll go. And even hospital management, same. And number three would be the cats on the walls. So these people, they really don't know where exactly they need to get in. They'll wait for the proper opportunity to to jump in, whether to the public health side, to the hospital management, or to the IT side, you name it. So I'm also the cat on the wall. I belong to the third category, because even though I touched all the three, but being within these three zones, if all these students will come in and accumulate. So we need to see which summer internship and how you need to take based upon these three categories. It differs. So if you're an entrepreneur, try to focus on somewhere, take some good case studies and see how the business will impact based upon the business decisions, and try to see from the strategic point of view, from an entrepreneur eye. Try to bring that and do certain case studies, because your summer internship carries a lot of weightage in your campus selections. Secondly, who actually have the proper clarity, they need to dig much more deeper into their summer, whenever they are getting into the summer internships. So try to take some topic in public health, some program, and go ahead and try to learn some more, and do something beyond a student can do. Okay, so try to do that. And the third category, based upon they goes onto the field, they goes which one they attracts to the work they are, end of the day, they are interested into. So I was attracted to the quality programs and in the quality management side, and it helped me to do somewhere around 4 to 5 kind of dissertations, and that really helped me in my summer internships. So summer internships are very, very important for the if you want to have a good, proper, strong case study about yourself in the campus, not only in campus, for the next journey as a full-time worker in the field. If you want to have that, you should have the proper taste before start working as a full-time, as a hospital manager, or as an executive, or as an IT person.
Right. Balasa? Um, Sorry to interrupt, sir. Your voice is not audible. Still not. Hello. Hello. You're not audible, sir. Is it possible for you to just be on your loudspeaker and not on the earphones?
Hello.
Yeah, sir. You're audible now.
Yeah. Selecting HTTP this thing. Initially, I was in confusion like which one need to take, like on hospital or health IT. And through the course, like I get to know that hospital is where you can get to know both and all. So then I've taken this summer training program from NH Narayan and Vidyalaya. It's where I get to know that both, like how the year works and all this. And coming to this dissertation wise, from where like it's a new thing, like teleradiology thing, where I get to know like we know the radiology, how it works and all this, but teleradiology, how it works like in the remote areas to, and across the world. And it's kind of a new thing where I get to know like how this multi-specialty hospitals and works here. Yes, and really this can also like help me uh, getting like a uh, new knowledge, all these things.
Okay. Okay. So we have a question from the audience. Venkat sir, I would ask you this question. What do you think is the global acceptance of the course that IHMR offers? And there's a question from the audience as well. They want to know what are the scopes of a nursing graduate after MHA in India as well as abroad?
So let me give you a brief example that after completing your course DN or MHA, so you have this program is AACT approved program, and it is recognized worldwide. Just give you a small an example that that I recently faced with after completing my IHMR degree and started working. So I had this pursuit of going to Canada as a permanent resident. So keeping in that mind, you need to what do you say, like you need to evaluate your education to the Canadian standards or to the North American standards. So that time there's a body called World Educational Services. We call it as WES. So WES really evaluates your education equivalent to the degrees in North America. So our degrees, is equally capable as a postgraduate diploma in that country. So that's a basic example that I can give, or a best example that I can give, that it's entirely worldwide. It is acceptable because it's an AACT approved program. And also, I would say that for the next question, that what would be the scope after completing an MHA, being a nursing graduate? So, well, it depends upon your core interest. As I said, that if you're fitting into these three categories, like either an entrepreneur, or you want to do something based on your interest, or if you don't have any interest, you just want to pursue the program, and then you need to get that interest based upon your calling, then you need to join the program and see. But you have a wide array of opportunities, I would say here, right? Starting from the hospital management as an executive, or you can join healthcare IT like me into the information technology side. There's a lot of things happening in the worldwide, like right from the artificial intelligence to the EMRs and to the other clinical informatics solutions implementations in the hospitals. You name it, there's a lot of things happening. And also I need to touch this example of due to this new COVID pandemic, there's a lot of traction happening towards this telemedicine and teleconsultations. So I would say that it all depends on your interest, but end of the day, the investment that you put into here, that brings up definitely a fruitful result, because there is a lot of demand for the healthcare managers in all these areas, for coming next 30 to 40 years.
Yes, moving on to you, Bala sir.
Yeah. I think IHMR course global acceptance is say actually last year I tried to move on to Middle East, where I got to know like one private firm. They got to know like about, if they know about IHMR Bangalore College and all, they know the course and all. I've just checked is there anything more other than this course we need to do? But they said like it's very good and it's widely acceptable course. We can do it and all. And through the like radiology stream only, when I want to move to Middle East, they said that we need actually these background healthcare management background students involved. So you can, it's a quite eligible course for everyone who wants to do this.
Okay, so again, Venkat sir, can you explain your role as an EMR consultant specialist?
Yeah, sure. So when we say EMR consultant, it's typically it's the entire software cycle. There will be, like, we'll call it as SDLC cycle. So right from the product implementation, the EMR implementation, till to the support, there's a lot of activities being an EMR consultant you'll be doing. Take an example of Epic. Somebody asked about what is Epic certification. So Epic is an EMR, so it's worldwide renowned EMR. So it has its a lot of implementations happening, and it is a global leader in North America. And if you compare it entire worldwide, it has a lot of implementations happening. And Epic is, as I said, it's a HIS. You can call it as HIS also, Hospital Information Systems. So in these systems, you have different modules, and say, like, you need to implement this in a hospital setting in different areas, like from the outpatient to inpatient to the laboratory, theaters, and as well as the billing side and all the areas of the hospitals, the ancillary systems, and as well as the other areas. So you will implement as an implementation consultant, like from the taking requirements gathering and trying to fit in the solution to the customer and to the client. And then once you implement or you configure the system, you'll be deploying the system to the users, so they will practice the system in their setting. And once the practice happens, you'll be testing the system in multiple ways. And once the testing happens, you'll be live with the system. Like, from that day onwards, the hospital users will use the system. And lastly, there'll be support. So we'll be giving certain support to the end users from the L1 to L4. We call it as L3 supports. So yeah, EMR consultant will do a lot of role in terms of the not only the EMR consultant, I can call it any clinical informatics consultants. Okay, it depends upon the solution that they will be working or implementing. You name it, like a radiology solution, as Balaji is telling, or you can call it as an EMR, which has much more broader spectrum. But all these are the solutions that, as a consultant, will be end up working in a full cycle. So Epic certification is nothing but you will be officially recognized as a person that you can work to implement that certain modules. So we have an outpatient module, inpatient module, just like the what modules we have in our college, epidemiology one module, and like the other modules. So we do have certain modules in the EMR. So we'll be implementing that. In order to implement that, you should be certified. So for that, you need to take an examination and the course. That's called as an Epic certification.
Well, I hope that answered our audience question. Now, I would like to ask you, Balaji sir, how would you describe your work at LV Prasad? Sorry, LV Prasad Eye Institute. I'm so sorry.
Here, like currently, I look into the operations of 20 primary vision eye care centers, like where in remote areas and district-wise, like where you will see the screening of the patients, and the patients will be referred to the next level secondary center or tertiary care centers. Also, we do the teleconsultations who cannot.
Okay. I think there is some network issue with.
Hello. Yeah, some network issue.
Yeah.
We do teleconsultations and all. Like the patients get to know they can be treated, and the prescription wise they will be given.
Okay. I think there is some network issue with you, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's what, like, all operation kind of work regarding these vision centers and all be taken care. And currently there's COVID time and all, like we have been taking care of with all the protocols along with the, like you never see any in rural areas any clinics and all performing with PP kits and all. So we do that with the PP kits and with all protocols following, and we do check the patients, and we send them to the next level tertiary care for their cataract surgeries or retina wise and everything, all this.
Okay. So now moving back to Venkat sir again. Sir, do you think, how would you say that a person from a clinical background can make a career in healthcare IT? Like, do you think it is possible? Because this is our question.
Yes, definitely. That's a great question. Being from a clinical background, uh, well, can you make it a career in IT? Absolutely, yes. Let's give you an example for you so that it'll be clear. So, take an example of a typical hospital setting. Okay, so you want to do certain implementation, certain software, whether it might be a radiology solution or an EMR or any other cardiology solution. So you need to implement that. So we have the hospital, we have the hospital users, and we have the, this side we have the IT guys who knows the core programming. So the IT guys cannot take the entire requirements what the hospital or the users are having. They cannot understand that, to make this thing happen for them. So in between, they need certain bridge. This is what we call it as informatics. So what clinical informaticians will do is they take the requirements, they understand the requirements from the hospital setting. Take an example of one ward, like pediatric ward. So pediatric ward do have certain requirements or certain workflow that needs to be incorporated into this solution where a different features needs to be developed from the software point of view. So the informatics people lay the bridge between the two parties, and they transform these requirements understandable to the programmers so that the programmers will revert back with that, fulfilling that requirements. So it's like, you balance out the both parties being in between. So that's one of the role, what I call it as, being a functional consultant. That does not restrict you to be a functional consultant. You still can be a technical consultant, right? So all you need to do is, if you have that passion and vigor, so you can still learn, the programming languages, or you can try the SQL. You can try, your base of interest, like, you can get into Amazon cloud. There's a lot of traction happening in terms of cloud business as well now. The EMRs are launching onto the clouds like Amazon and, you know, uh, different areas. Even Apple is entering into the EMRs. So a lot of things happening in the market, and there is a huge demand for the clinical people. They really need to know a certain person who can translate this language to them so that they can better equip with or coming up with an efficient solution.
Okay. Do you think the course at our college, the one we offer, prepares the student well enough?
Yeah, definitely it is indeed. After the learning what we, as I said before, I'm against stressing that the learning what we get from the modules is to an extent that theoretically you understand something. Okay, I understood the IT framework, how it works in the hospital. But in reality, you need to solve certain case studies. You need to take the case studies, you need to simulate that. You need to understand how, if you want to design a certain framework, if you want to gather the requirements, what are different ways, what tools I can use. All this grooming all this, this kind of coaching should be happen after them learning from the modules. And I'm confident that our faculty is already working on that, and indeed we do have a lot of workshops to understand that, to bring that that case studies into life. And in fact, I still remember I did a lot of case studies with Usha ma'am in management. Not only in management, even we started working on one business model. I need to bring it on here. So we worked on a business model, so for the child nutrition, and me, my couple of colleagues, my classmates, Mayur and Ajay. So we worked, and Usha ma'am gave huge support for us, how to approach us with this business model. And we had a good learning from this. And like that, you have a lot of good to go persons in the college, like entrepreneurs. You can talk to Usha ma'am, like concerned people. You have a lot of experienced faculty, and a lot of industry leaders are coming onto the stage to give their insights. I think this is a good time, and good place to be if you want to pursue your course.
Okay. Then, so for both of you, do you think that a career in health or hospital management, how is it faring at, in these current times? And how is it going to be post-COVID?
Yeah. So it's a great question again. COVID brought a lot of challenges to everyone. It's not restricted to our. It even touched our PGDM as well. especially the batch which is coming up now. So it has its own challenges like in any other field, but end of the day, being a human is, how you channelize these challenges to as an opportunity and come out of it solutions. So that's all matters here. So as I said, if you unable to walk into a hospital or a clinic to have a consultation, a lot of companies coming with virtual consultations, so the telemedicine thing. Like that, every area is, we're kind of doing this problem solving and bringing up the new areas or new stages. That indeed is a positive you see from this side, that, you'll have a lot of options coming out rather than traditionally sitting in a company and working for some hours for a certain EMR or in the hospital being an executive. So I would say that, this is definitely a positive time, but only thing is it takes little time to stabilize. My only advice to the people like you're coming out of the batch. So just keep your nerve stable. End of the day, you'll be placed somewhere, but that placement should happen with your complete acceptance, and try to stick on to that, and things will settle, and it will bring up a lot of great opportunities for all you people. Trust me.
So I would say the key is patience.
He is a patience and perseverance.
And perseverance, right? Yeah. Balasa?
Yeah, like the demand of the for the skilled administrators in the hospital side and many healthcare facilities, it's actually growing rapidly. Where it comes to come to hospitals, it's very dissimilar from other organizations and all. Like there will be opportunities. You just sit on and wait for the opportunity and be patient. And meanwhile, you will be getting as a competitive salary and in a responsible position, and more or less you need to have a right spirit and maintain attitude to success in this thing.
Okay, sir. All right. So I'll take you back to college again. How were your placement times? And how did IHMR help you?
Yeah, that question itself bringing a big smile on my face. It's not easy. Trust me, it's a team effort from my colleagues, my classmates, to Sarla ma'am. So she patiently handed over everything. I really need to appreciate her here. She used to bear a lot of stress, especially from the students. Just to stress one thing here, we are the I think we were around 52 people that time. I think we are one of the our strength is very big. So you need to accommodate everyone to their area of interest. Is a huge challenge for me. And placement times is always challenging, but end of the day, everybody's happy now. There's no worries at all. I myself just give my placement as an example. I got through Cognizant. So we around 25 people sat for the interview. They already did a cutoff that you should have 65% till beyond in all your 10th to plus two and on your graduation. So there were 25 people in my batch, and the placement officer whomsoever came from the Cognizant, they're very much interested to take only one person, but the competition was too difficult or too tough for them to handle. They end up taking three people. So yeah, it was a great evening that day. Started from 9 o'clock, ended around 6:30 in the evening. There's a huge rush of joy on everybody's face, when they announced that the three people are getting into me and Pragya, the one who I think she already attended this webinar, I think the previous webinar, Pragya, and Neha. So we three were there, and it was great. Placements are always tough, but keep, as I said, that be positive and patient. Try to bring that. You try to grab that. What the other person is asking from you, what exactly they want to look in you. Whether they need certain person to solve their problems or to bring that innovation. Try to grab that when you sit in front of that person, and I think it will be easy. But it's a great time.
For you, Balasa?
How everyone is fighting about during placement, we also feel same thing during that time. For this thing, and everyone has helped out, professor wise and friends and all everyone. Initially, when we went to the interview in teleradiology, it went from morning to evening, from like 10 o'clock we've been there up to 7 o'clock, so we don't know what's going on. Like after 7 o'clock also, we don't know we're getting to the place or not. So after maybe like roughly of 20, 25 days of later, we got a mail from the Teleradiology Solutions that three of them got placed. Like somehow one girl, Lavya, didn't join. She's in Deloitte right now. And me and Margi Raj, like we are the, I think we are the first two guys in the entire batch got placed during that time. Like it was, if I would have not got for very first interview thing, maybe I might be in the panic stage. So I got into place initially only. So like I have seen the rest of my classmates, like how they are preparing themselves and like how they are like panic in every situation and all. Like luckily I got placed initially itself.
Good. Okay, so there's one more question for you, Bala sir. What do you think is the scope for a pharma student in hospital management?
Pharma student, like I thought like currently IHMR Bangalore is studying pharmaceutical management. It's a very good opportunity. Actually, like a couple of friends have also been asked regarding this thing. Pharma background, do we need, can do this hospital management or not? And also one of my like cousin was doing MBBS, and she was asking right now like, is this correct opportunity? Can I do this course and all? So for pharma background also, they can do hospital management also. Like I have one friend. I think this question was asked by one of my friend. I guess he's a pharma D student. Like he is in hospital and currently he's working in Wells Fargo.
Okay.
There is a good option, like career option in hospital management also for pharma guys.
Yeah, that's a great option. Okay, another one for you, Venkat sir. So there is this person who wants to know, how do the nursing student fit into, those who have gone for PGDHM, how do they fit into the IT roles? I think you've already answered that, but if you can elaborate on it once again, because generally with IT, you get this idea of, with developing and testing and QAs. So how does a nursing background person fit into this?
Yeah. So as a previous stressed on, like being into an IT side, you doesn't mean that you sit into the programmings on the servers and trying to correct some issues in terms of the infrastructure wise IT side. Even though it falls certain elements onto your JD, but doesn't mean that you'll be a whole day you'll be sitting on some codes. Mm-hmm. So especially when I talk about the hospital environment on the healthcare side, there'll be certain roles that you need to fulfill, like being a management student with deep understanding about how the IT infrastructure, IT systems, like take an example, how the IT model typically runs in the hospital and in the entire area, like from the front end to the back end, you'll get all this understanding in the course. So once you have all this knowledge in your mind and you get into the field, so you'll have the typical hospital users who'll be using certain platforms like, they might be using some patch solutions to view the medical images, or they might be using certain solutions to document the clinical findings like EMRs. So in order to get the solutions to that level where the user can adopt to that, like, and take an example of a nurse in a hospital, like in any ward, like emergency medicine. So nurse needs to be really on her toes or his toes to get the patient to be treated and to be triaged. So in order to that happen, so the system should be friendly for her to save certain time, to focus on the patient and stabilize the patient. So this in turn become the three requirements for the software to fulfill that. So in order to make this these requirements understandable for the programmers or to the software side, you need to have certain knowledge from the both ends. From this side of the hospital side, healthcare system side, departmental wise, and you also need to have the knowledge to how best you can communicate to the programmers or to the coders if it is not there in the system. If it is there in the system, you yourself can understand that, and you can typically build that for you. It's like you are getting used to a new iOS. Take an example. Yeah. If you get used to iOS, you can do your own things, like you can download your apps and you can use it. So understanding that usage of an iOS, that itself what you'll do, but you'll have your requirement understanding from the hospitals, and you'll be materializing that into reality. So that's what a consultant will do, and it has its own it has a wide variety of roles. Okay, you might be doing this role of gathering to the implementation, to support, to testing. If you go to the product side, you might be working on new features that might be coming out. How best you can bring it that to the product development side. We have different varieties of areas in terms of the IT.
Okay. I hope that answered the question. Okay, so this leads to another question, which is how do the students groom themselves in any programming language to best suit, into IT industry?
Let me talk at the level of the student from the second year of PGDHM. Okay, that really makes sense. So at that point of time, you don't need to have any sort of programming language. Trust me, you don't need to have anything. All the campus recruits, whomsoever comes for the placement, they look for that energy, that vigor. Okay, but you will definitely make them feel confident that yes, this person can help me to bring on the requirements to be real possibility. Okay, so try to work on that level of that human interaction skills, and be confident in the interviews, and as well as do a very good work in your summer internships, understanding that how hospitals are working in any IT project as a intern. So whatever it might be your area of interest, try to build that. If you still have the time, and you have that patience of learning, being from a healthcare side, I would say yes, there's nothing wrong in that. You can learn the programming languages, but end of the day, the question is, will that be useful for you when you get into the job? I would say that's a questionable statement. We cannot say that it will be useful, but end of the day, what really matters is on that day, on that time, on that moment, how much impression you're creating for the opposite person really matters. So for that, you need to prepare for 2 years. If its job is your priority. If anything beyond that, like if you're an entrepreneur, then the case would be different.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay, so now this question is for both of you. What happens is, as freshers, okay, first of all, what are the challenges that a fresher can face while entering this industry? Secondly, we all have our assumptions, including me. When we are going to enter the industry, we expect a lucrative package. The package should be good. Only then we'll join this company. What do you think should be the point of focus there? Is the job more important than the package, or we should focus more on the role? So please shed some light on that.
Maybe Balaji, wanna go?
Yeah, we'll start with Balaji.
Like fresher, like initially when I've joined, I'm also like a fresher, first job and all these things. Like during that time, I felt like it's basic pay whatever what I'm getting and all. Like moreover, like it's a new thing what I'm learning in teleradiology thing and all. Like pay and all these things you will get down to the line, to the long run you will get money. But what you're learning from the organization where you have joined, it's more important. And moreover, like and it is an esteemed organization, you get placed, or you obviously you will get paid very well. So, but like if you see some of my classmates only, they have got placed in very good companies and all. Me and some of them got a very good package. Some of not up to the mark, but end of the day, what matters is like what you are learning from there and from where you are working. So pay and all, like you will get down to the line in the long run.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, continuing
Yes.
that, it all depends upon, as I said, that there will be 3 different, the ways of you pursuing the IHMR, the course PGDM. Whether you want to start your own business startup, then don't mind about your pay. Trust me. Just go with the organization. Maybe prefer certain startups where you can get a real good understanding about the knowledge what you have, and you try to enrich that, and then work on your own business model or whatever might be. And if it is that, if you really want to be in this in between, whether I want to pursue the package is the priority, no doubt the package will be the priority, but beyond that, beyond the brand, it's your what matters at the end of the day is, if you're going to work and if you're coming out of the day, you should come out little, little smile should be left on your face, after working so many hours, no doubt everybody will be, using you to their to the core to bring the best for them. That's the industry model actually. It's up to you whether you are, you are in that mode of flexibility that you'll be working for them or you're working for yourself to stay happy. So just check that. It might be a little difficult at the starting point of time when you're starting a new job with someone, but that's world doesn't end there. You might end up starting some other job somewhere after come working here. So try to see that where exactly I fit in myself here and what is my priorities. Is the money is the thing, then go with the brands and try to see that and experience that. If your priority is to learn something and see yourself where exactly my core interest lies, that's in when you need to do a little bit of experimentation with little from different organizations and try to pick that interest and then work on that. Okay, after certain years of time, from 5 years of down the line, you will be end up identifying that and you will be in, your career will be booming. So that's what I would say. Like, try to see that. And expectations, I know there will be a lot of expectation coming out of the college with, with flying colors. Try to see that, trying to get a good package and as well as good amount of reception from the organizations. Definitely it will be there. And you also need to be open to learn a lot of new things. And that's in where, defines you versus others. So that's my piece of advice.
That was great advice from both of you. Okay, coming to our last question of the session. What would you say was the master stroke of your career?
Okay, so I would say definitely taking course from pursuing course from PGDM. I'm not telling that something out of the air. In this context, it really defined my life, and it changed me to an entirely different course. Till then I was into the different nursing field, and it really redefined me. And I myself coming out of the college at 2013 versus myself when I was in 2011. There's a tremendous difference in my overall being. Like, it has a huge impact on me, and that was one of the master stroke, and it was great.
Yeah, for me also, like master stroke, like choosing medical background is one thing, and also like HMR Bangalore, like master stroke for me also, like where I've changed from where I'm to where I'm right now. This helped me a lot actually. HMR thing actually, like right, so Venkat sir said, like when I was in 2010 to 14, how I was there, and 15 to 17, I was totally different. And after 2017, like I was changed a lot, and this has helped me a lot in my career growth. And
All right, that was great. And it was really great talking to both of you, sir. I am pretty sure this is going to be very beneficial for our prospective students. And I wish both of you good luck for your future.
Thank you.
And take care and stay safe. And any more questions that the audiences have, you can leave it with us. You can write to us and we'll get back to you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, both of you, so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have our team to thank for putting up this master stroke for us. This is our team, Mr. Pradeep, Dr. Deepa Shri, Mr. Arun, Mr. Sudhakar, and Ms. Joyce. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all our viewers. Stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.
bye-bye.